DuoTale English.
where every story teaches you English.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to DuoTale English. I am Marcus, and today I want to do something a little different right at the start. I want to catch you doing something that you probably do all the time without even realizing it.
And I am Lena, and yes, Marcus has a trap ready for you. Go on, Marcus, set the trap.
It is not a trap, it is an experiment. Okay, right now, at this exact moment, what language are you thinking in? Are you listening to our English words and immediately understanding them? Or are you hearing the English and then running it through a mental translation process, converting it into your native language and then understanding it?
Because those are two very different things, and most English learners, for most of their learning journey, do the second one. They hear English, translate to their native language, understand, and then when they want to respond, they think in their native language, translate to English, and then speak. There and back, every single sentence. An enormous amount of mental work happening invisibly every single time.
And today, in episode 24, we're talking about how to stop that. How to eventually, not instantly, but gradually, start thinking directly in English, without the translation layer, without the mental round trip, just thought in English, response in English, flow.
Because thinking in English is the sign, the real sign that fluency is arriving. Not perfect grammar, not a large vocabulary. The moment you start having a thought directly in English without translating, that is the moment the language has moved from your head to your life.
And as always, we have a story, we have strategies, we have our word expert vocabulary segment, 12 beautiful and useful English words and phrases, and we have shadowing practice. Everything you need in one episode. And we upload every single day. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss one. Ready, Lena?
So ready. Let us go. So, Marcus, let us start with the why, because understanding why we translate is actually the first step to stopping. And the answer is, it is completely natural, completely expected, and not a sign that you are doing anything wrong.
Good, because I think a lot of learners feel guilty about it. Like, oh, I'm still translating. I shouldn't be doing that anymore. I should be further along. And that guilt is not helpful. It's actually counterproductive.
Exactly. We translate because our native language is the home we have lived in our entire lives. Every single thought we have ever had, every emotion we've ever felt, every memory we have lives in that language. It's not just a communication tool, it's the structure of our inner world.
And when we encounter a new language, our brain looks for a bridge, a way to connect the new sounds and words to the meaning we already have. And the bridge it finds is our native language, because meaning already lives there. So it uses that bridge automatically, efficiently, helpfully at first.
At first, because in the early stages of learning, translation is genuinely useful. It's a scaffolding, a temporary structure that supports you while you're building something more permanent.
But scaffolding is meant to come down eventually, because if you always translate, you never fully move into the new language. You're always visiting it, never living in it. And living in it, thinking in it, is where fluency lives.
Today's story is about someone called Hana. Hana is 23 years old. She's from Vietnam. She's been learning English for 6 years, including 2 years at an English-speaking university. Her written English is very good. Her professors have praised her essays. She's never failed an English test.
But Hana has a specific, persistent problem. In her head, she thinks in Vietnamese, always. Even when she's writing in English, she composes the thought in Vietnamese first and then translates it. And when she speaks, the translation process is so slow and so visible that she sounds hesitant, even when she's not unsure at all.
And Hana describes it beautifully. She says, it's like I'm a pianist who can read music perfectly, but has to sing the notes out loud before she can play them. She sees the music, she knows the music, but there's this extra step, this loud singing of the notes before her fingers can play. And that extra step makes everything slow.
The singing of the notes before the playing, that's such a vivid and accurate description. You know the meaning, but there's this extra trip. And that trip costs time and confidence.
So Hana starts experimenting, trying things, and she finds practices that gradually, over about 4 months, begin to shift her inner voice. Not dramatically, not completely, but noticeably, meaningfully.
And the first moment it happened, the first spontaneous English thought that appeared without her choosing it, she said she sat completely still for a second, because it was like hearing a different voice inside her head. Her voice, but in a different language.
That moment, that first uninvited English thought, that's the signal. That's the brain saying, I've been practicing long enough, I know this language well enough now that I can borrow it for my own thinking, and some is the beginning of everything.
7 practical ways to start thinking in English. Practice 1. Label your world in English. Look around you right now. Everything you see, name it in English. In your head. Cup, table, window, phone, morning, traffic, coffee getting cold because I keep talking.
The coffee getting cold, always. But this practice, labeling, builds the English word as the primary tag for the object, not the native language word first and then the English translation, just the English word directly.
And Hana started doing this everywhere. On her commute, she labeled everything she saw. Bus, seat, driver, rain on the window, old man with a newspaper, school children with enormous backpacks. And after about 3 weeks, some objects she was thinking about in English before she thought about them in Vietnamese.
Practice 2, give yourself a running commentary. Narrate your internal experience, not just what you're doing, what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what you're deciding. I'm trying to decide what to eat. I'm not very hungry. Something light would be good. Maybe just some rice and vegetables. Or actually, no, I want something warm. I feel cold today.
Practice 3, think in questions. Because questions happen constantly in our minds already. What should I do next? Is this a good idea? How long will this take? Convert those questions into English. Every question you ask yourself today, ask it in English.
Practice 4, emotion labeling. When you feel an emotion, name it in English immediately. I'm anxious right now. I feel satisfied. I'm a little frustrated. I feel calm. I'm excited about this.
Hana said this was the most powerful of all the practices for her because she started noticing when she felt something and named it in English, the English word felt right, not translated. Right. Like the word and the feeling were the same thing, instead of 2 things connected by a bridge.
The word and the feeling were the same thing. That's exactly what thinking in a language means, when the language and the experience are one.
Practice 5, choose English for 1 mental activity per day. Planning your day, making a grocery list, reviewing what happened at work, 1 activity moved to English every day. Grocery list is a great one. Rice, bread, milk, tomatoes, the green vegetables I always forget the name of.
The green vegetables you always forget?
I stand there saying, the ones that look like little trees, and then I remember, broccoli, and then I forget again.
Broccoli, every time. Marcus, you have been speaking English for years and you still forget broccoli?
It's a very forgettable word. Broccoli doesn't sound like what it is. It sounds like a character in an Italian opera.
In Italian opera. Oh, that's a very specific description. Okay, broccoli. We all know it now. We will never forget it. Moving on.
Broccoli, the Italian opera vegetable. Practice 6. Inner dialogue. Those conversations you have with yourself in your head. You're rehearsing something you want to say, or processing something that happened, or imagining a future conversation. Move that to English.
Oh, yes, the inner arguments, the imaginary conversations where you have the perfect comeback 2 hours later.
Yes, actually what I should have said was conversation. In your head, 2 hours after the real one. Move that to English. Because that inner dialogue is surprisingly elaborate. You're constructing arguments, making points, expressing frustration or excitement. That's incredibly rich English practice.
The internal pasta debate, classic. And practice 7, dream journaling in English. If you have any memory of what you dreamed, when you wake up, write it down in English immediately, even 1 sentence.
Because dreams are as close as we get to pure, unedited thought. No performance, no audience, just the brain processing. And when English appears in your dreams, even briefly, it's a signal that English has entered your unconscious.
Back to Hana, 4 months later. What changed? The most obvious change, her speaking pace. Her professors and classmates noticed she seemed more relaxed, not because her English had suddenly become more accurate, but because the gap between her thinking and her speaking had narrowed.
And she said something really interesting. She said, I started making different mistakes. Before, when I was translating, my mistakes were translation mistakes. But now, my mistakes were more like English mistakes, the kind a native speaker might make. Natural errors, not translated errors.
And that shift from translated errors to natural English errors is a sign of enormous progress. The brain is working in English, and like any brain working in any language, it makes its own language's mistakes.
And the emotional experience changed too. She said, I used to feel like I was performing English, like I was putting on a costume. But now, some of the time, it feels like I'm just speaking, not performing, just me, talking in English. Me-ness in a different language, your personality in English, your sense of humor, your warmth, all of it expressed in English. Not translated, just expressed. Because the language has become a vessel for who you are.
When you get stuck, option 1, use what you have. Approximate. If you want to think the word profoundly but you do not have it, think very instead. Same thought, simpler words, still in English, still counts.
Option 2, describe around the gap. Not the word for the thing that does, the feeling when. Option 3, allow the native language briefly and then actively look up the English word later. So the moment of being stuck becomes a vocabulary acquisition moment, a discovery, not a defeat.
And option 4, be patient with the process. First, the very concrete things, then feelings, then decisions, then complex abstract thoughts, then humor, then irony. Layer by layer, patience by patience, day by day.
Welcome to the Word Expert segment. 12 vocabulary words. Repeat each one after me. Word 1, inner voice. The language and words you use when you think privately to yourself. My inner voice is slowly starting to speak English. Say it. My inner voice is starting to speak English.
Word 2, mental translation. Converting thoughts from one language to another inside your head. I was so frustrated with the mental translation, by the time I had translated my thought, the conversation had moved on. Say it. Reducing mental translation is the goal.
Word 3, fluency. The ability to speak a language smoothly and without long pauses. Fluency is achieved through use, not through study. Say it. Fluency comes through speaking.
Word 4, spontaneous. Happening naturally and without planning. Her first spontaneous English thought appeared without her choosing it. Say it. Spontaneous English thoughts are a sign of real progress.
Word 5, monologue. A long speech by one person, in language learning, your inner monologue. I started practicing an English inner monologue every morning. Say it. My inner monologue is in English.
Word 6, instinct. A natural, automatic tendency to respond without conscious thought. After 2 years of practice, answering in English was becoming instinct. Say it. I want English to become instinct.
Word 7, conscious effort. Deliberate, intentional effort. In the early stages, everything requires conscious effort. Later, much becomes automatic. Say it. Conscious effort leads to automatic habit.
Word 8, automatic. Done without conscious thought as a result of habit. When English becomes automatic, that is when it starts to feel like yours. Say it. I want English to feel automatic.
Word 9, frame of mind. Your mood and mental state at a particular moment. Getting into an English frame of mind before a conversation helps enormously. Say it. I am in an English frame of mind today.
Word 10, cognitive. Relating to the mental processes of thinking and learning. Thinking in English is a cognitive skill that develops with consistent practice. Say it. Thinking in English is a cognitive skill.
Word 11, switch. To change from one language to another. She found that she was switching to English naturally when she was excited. Say it. I switch to English when I can.
Word 12, immersion. Surrounding yourself so completely with a language that it enters every part of your daily life. She created her own English immersion environment at home. Say it. I am creating my own English immersion.
12 brilliant words. Inner voice, mental translation, fluency, spontaneous, monologue, instinct, conscious effort, automatic, frame of mind, cognitive, switch, immersion.
Shadowing practice. Repeat after me 3 times each. I am training my brain to think directly in English. Say it. My inner voice is slowly starting to speak English. Say it. I do not always translate anymore. Sometimes the English just comes. Say it. I label the things around me in English, and it's helping. Say it. I ask myself questions in English throughout my day. Say it. When I feel something, I name that feeling in English immediately. Say it. Every English thought, however small, is real progress. Say it. I am patient with the process because I know it's working. Say it. One day, my first thought will be in English, and that day is getting closer. Say it. Thinking in English is not a talent, it's a practice, and I practice every day. Say it.
Lena, when did it happen for you? When did you first realize your inner voice was speaking English?
It's hard to pinpoint exactly. I don't remember a single dramatic moment. It was more gradual. Like one day I was writing an email in English and I noticed I hadn't thought it in my native language first. I had just written it. The thought and the English came together, and I sat there thinking, when did that start happening?
You didn't notice it happening, you noticed it had happened.
Exactly. That's the thing about this transition. It doesn't arrive with fanfare. It sneaks in. And then one day you look and you think, oh, I think in English now. When did that happen? I don't know exactly, but it did. And what about you, Marcus?
For me, I remember quite clearly. I was watching a film, a sad film, and I was genuinely moved by something that happened. And the thought I had, the spontaneous, unplanned emotional reaction, was in English, not my native language. English. And it wasn't a translation, it was just the English feeling, the English response, direct, unmediated. And I thought, oh, the language is mine now.
The language is mine now. That's such a beautiful thing to feel. And everyone listening, that moment is possible for you. Whatever level you're at right now, that moment is coming. Not because you were born talented, because you showed up every day. And the brain, quietly, steadily, started to make the language yours.
5 quick daily habits before we close. Habit 1, English alarm label. Your first thought tomorrow morning in English. Even just, good morning. Or, I don't want to get up, but I'm going to anyway. English. First thought every morning.
Habit 2, English grocery list. Every shopping list in English. Milk, bread, broccoli we remember now, eggs, pasta, whatever you need in English. Every single time.
Habit 3, English emotion check-in. 3 times today, morning, afternoon, evening. Ask yourself in English, how am I feeling right now? 1-sentence answer. In English, I feel energized this morning. I'm a bit tired this afternoon.
Habit 4, English countdown. Whenever you're counting something today, count in English. Stairs, people in a queue, minutes, English numbers, always. Because counting is one of the last things learners transfer to a new language, and making that transfer is a significant cognitive shift.
And habit 5, 1 English sentence about your day tonight, just before you sleep, out loud or in your head. Today was long but productive. Today was quiet. Today something good happened that I didn't expect. 1 sentence, in English. Your last thought before sleep. Because the brain consolidates during sleep, and an English thought going in has a very good chance of coming out in an English dream.
5 habits, 2 minutes total across the whole day. And they build and they compound, and the inner voice gets louder and the translation gets quieter. And one day, your first thought is in English, and you barely notice it because it's just normal, because English is yours now.
That's the end of episode 24 of DuoTale English. We followed Hana, from the pianist singing the notes before she could play them, to 4 months later making natural English errors instead of translated ones, feeling like herself in English, not performing, just being in the language.
Our question of the day: what language do you think in right now? And what's the first English thought that appeared in your head today? Write it in the comments, in English, right now. We'll read every single one, every day.
Please subscribe and turn on notifications. Episode 25 is coming tomorrow. New topic, new vocabulary, new story, new practice, always here, always for you.
Thank you for being here today. Your inner voice is getting more English every single day. You might not hear it yet, but it's happening. Take care, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye, everyone. Bye, Lena. And remember, broccoli. You'll never forget it now. Bye.
broccoli forever. Bye, Marcus. Bye, everyone. See you tomorrow.